Hi, the Vanishing Twin. I want to give as much information to you as possible about the Vanishing Twin because a lot of us don't realize that we do have a Vanishing Twin, or we don't understand what a Vanishing Twin is. I didn't know myself till about, I think, 7 or 8 years ago. And what I've experienced, because I'm working with groups, I'm working with people, that it has such an impact on everything in our lives. I mean, everything is affected by the Vanishing Twin. So the Vanishing Twin is where there was maybe another egg in the womb, and maybe there's 2, maybe there's 3, maybe there's 4. And one of them died, or 2 of them died. Or maybe you actually have a living twin. So how does that affect you, and why should we look at it? What I realized more and more each day is, while working with people and working with groups, that the Vanishing Twin literally lives in your life like another person with a complete personality, a different identity, a different personality living in your cells, in your body. I've even come across cases where the teeth, the hair is growing inside the person. So what's the characteristics? A lot of people don't realize they're Vanishing Twins. And what I realized is that a lot of people, like myself, with this helper syndrome, who are empathic, who maybe have a deep longing or loneliness, something's missing, between life and death, maybe fear of disease, or suicidal tendencies, but not going through with it. There's something there. Competitiveness, attracting toxicity, toxic people, toxic situations, even poisoning themselves. Not being able to keep good with boundaries, undecisive, very undecisive about decisions, changing decisions very fast. This dread inside, this dread for, dread for disease or death, or a feeling of dread, some deadness. There could be this tendency to jump into relationships very deep and then jump out, or maybe it can be even difficult to leave a relationship which you know is complete because your partner's in twin place. So you can't leave a twin, but you can leave a partner and grieve a partner. But a twin is the closest person you'll ever have in your life, more so than a parent, a brother, or sister who's not a twin, and more close than a partner. So the twin field, I want to just show you. Let me see. Let me see what I have. So, sorry, there's some magnet in the light. Oh, here we go. That's better. So, with a twin, when there's 2 eggs in the womb, they sort of sometimes overlap. Okay. Now, if you get an overlap, then you've got an imprint in you. You've got an imprint that you allow people into your system, or you may enter into other people's systems. So you have this, it's like a toxic energy to attract toxic situations, attract toxic people, until you repair this overlap, okay? You also have information which does not belong to you in your system, so you can give that back to your twin. You could have a tendency, I think I said before, that of this life or death. And in your channel, there's almost like somebody else in your channel. What's important is, in relationship to your parents, that you may have a strange relationship with your parents, which is not completely clear, because Maybe you have a sister, an opposite sex in your system, or a brother or a sister, whatever it may be for you. So in connection with your parents, they feel that there's another son or daughter there, but they know you're in the way. So there's something strange in the way between your parents. So it's important to make sure to allow the space that your twin brother or sister has his or her own genetic place, so they can have direct connection with mom, dad, also direct connection with brothers and sisters. And also to make sure if you're in a relationship or married that they're not in your relationship, that you have your privacy back. Because if they're in your system, they're in your system 24/7 in intimacy as well. And maybe they don't want to be in intimacy. Maybe they don't even like your partner. So they'll sabotage your relationship. They may sabotage your health. They may sabotage your work if they don't like your work. So there's many, many reasons why we should really take a look at the twin. And a lot of people I work with say, I don't have a twin, I don't have a twin, and then it just pops up in the system, because not all the time does the twin want you to know about his or herself. And the twin's a great gift, and there's so many gifts in connection to connecting with your twin in a clear way, which is out of your system, because your twin has completely different personality than you, completely different mindset than you, and maybe different attraction or different interests than you. And maybe it doesn't like some of your friends, maybe it doesn't like some of the connections or yourself or your behavior patterns. So I found it's really, really important to work with the vanishing twin. So if you feel any resonance to this, I'll repeat a few of them again. If you're competitive, if you feel you're continuously jumping into people's systems, that you're taking toxicity from the world, if you're having confusion with your identity, even sexuality, if you have this dread or fear of disease, if you're, excuse me, have this loneliness or emptiness inside your heart, which never seems to fill up, if you have the helper syndrome, if you're getting sick very fast, well, very, close to death in sickness and then bouncing back. You have the survivor thing as well, that if the plane's going down, you're going to be the first one off the plane. These are all signs of the vanishing twin, because you're the survivor. If you got a lot of guilt in your system, guilt is a big one, because you feel guilty that I'm here. So all these are signs that you may have a vanishing twin or more. So for me, it's very important not to rush this, because this is the biggest, for me, one of the biggest impacts I've had in my life, to know who my twin is and to connect in a very clear way. Because the more I discovered who my twin was, the more I discovered who I am. And reconnect to your own channel. So if this resonates with you, I'm doing a 2-stage webinar on the vanishing twin, which I'll work through all the different stages and reconnect with who we really are, reconnect with our twin. And then at the last stage, we'll work with the angel aspect, that our twin is like our archangel, looking over us, taking care of us, because there's a soul connection, which is always there. So if it feels right for you, I'm doing a webinar on the vanishing twin. And yeah, I really recommend that you don't rush this, that you take your time with it. And yeah, it's important. It's really important. You're important, your twin's important, and your new connection with your partner, children, friends, because your twin would be, if you have children, your twin would be like another father, another mother for your children, but actually your twin is your uncle or the aunt to the kids. So if this feels right for you, I'll see you at the webinar. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.